So welcome you guys to our hot seat call. This is Z Slingsby or Mungie. That is, I always forget which one's the married name.
Mungie's my maiden name, and it's still official, but Slingsby's what it should be, as Todd reminds me every day.
Good old Todd. I don't know where freaking Mike is. He should be on this call too. He's probably working.
He is in another state like every day.
I know. He's amazing. But anyway, you guys, I worked with Z when she went 2-star, I think. Like we just started working when you were 1-star and then, or were you already 2-star?
No, I was a diamond.
A diamond.
Yeah.
That's so, and so the reason I worked with her is because she came over my desk on the elite report and she had all these elite points. And I was like, I called her and I was like, hey, like, what does your road to elite look like? What does your journey look like? And she's like, what is this elite thing that you speak of? And I totally schooled her. And now she is a 2-time elite coach, 5-star diamond. She built first time without the use of her husband or her second CVC, primarily through LinkedIn. So that's really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and let you tell your story, Z. And then when you're done, you guys can open it up to questions. I am recording. So go ahead and take it away, Lovey.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to be chatting with you guys. Mary is one of my absolute favorite people. And I honestly don't think I would have hit elite that year had it not been for her support. So I hope you guys are using her. And using her frequently to push you, because that's exactly what she did for me. So I want to tell you my story, and I'm going to tell you a detailed story, and I figure that will give you guys a lot of things that you want to ask questions about, because you'll get to know me, you'll get to know my strengths, and then it'll give you an idea of like exactly what you need help with, or maybe something I can share that I've done. So I became a coach like a lot of people do. I was engaged to get married, and I was in a really good place when I met my fiance. Like food was just, I hate to say, but like wasn't an issue. You know, I like ate well, I worked out, I was really into hot yoga, and I just, it all was like where you want it to be, like that perfect, blissful place. And then I moved to San Francisco. I'm from a little city in California, and we moved to the big city where he's from. And I've always had a corporate job, but now all of a sudden I was commuting like 2 hours each way to work. And I'm in this great city with great food and a fiance. And all of a sudden, like it seemed like I just woke up one day and I couldn't zip my pants up. And it was just like, what just happened? Like, how did this happen? And I still remember the day where like I drilled Todd. We were engaged and I was like, did I gain weight? And he's like, I don't want anything to do with this conversation, you know? And it was like a shocker because you don't see it happening, right? But I'm not kidding. My pants would not zip. I had to go out and buy brand new suits for work. And then that's like when it started. I started thinking about like, okay, I need to do something. I started working out, but I was working out at 4 a.m. and I jumped into a program I found on Instagram. And I worked out like crazy, but the results were still kind of crappy. And I think that's because my food wasn't that great. And the program actually came with a meal plan, but you guys know how it works, right? Without accountability, it really doesn't make the biggest difference. And so I kept kind of bouncing around, and my friend from like years before had posted on her Facebook consistently about this program that she was doing. And it was called PiYo. And I started searching for PiYo, and we didn't have one, but we had a PiYo certification. So unlike a lot of people, I got PiYo certified first before I became a Beachbody coach. And at the PiYo certification, people were asking, like, are you a coach? Are you a coach? And I was like, what is coaching? Still, nobody ever invited me to coaching at this PiYo cert. And so I went off on my merry way. And I never taught PiYo because I never felt good in my body. Like I still was not back to where I used to be. Here I am PiYo certified. I don't want to teach any classes because I'm not feeling good about myself, and I'm still kind of searching, right? Now that same friend that posted about PiYo was posting about her challenge groups, and I finally decided to give it a shot. And it took 2 weeks before I became a coach. She never asked me to be a coach. And I think that's a big one, you guys. Like, make sure you've asked every single person that is in your groups if they want to be a coach. I was probably one of the only people in her groups that had a full-time corporate job. It wasn't a big group, and it was mostly mamas. And I did not have kids at the time. And I had a very, very, and she knew me from work. So she knew like I was very career centered. I had really big goals. I was on something called Fast Track, which is the route they put you in. So like eventually you end up on the VP route. Like that was what I wanted. I have my background. I have an MBA in finance, like the furthest thing from coaching. So I could see why from her point of view, she's like, I don't know why I would ask her if she wants to do this, you know? 2 weeks in, I was totally hooked. I had a couple friends at work that wanted to do it. My first friend I actually sent to my coach and I said, hey, order from her, because I didn't realize I could be a coach. And then I started to kind of like toss it around in my mind. My husband was involved in a different MLM that I hated. Like I was the spouse that we talk about, the spouse that isn't supportive and like questions everything he does. And I was embarrassed about it. I wanted nothing to do with it. So when I became a Beachbody coach, I just fell in love with the program, and I really fell in love with the idea of like leading my friends, and that would help me to stay on board. But I still wasn't quite sure I really want to build a business. It was more like, this is fun, right? Well, the check started coming, you know, and I just got more and more into it because it was fun. And then finally I looked at Todd one day and I said, hey, like we got to talk, because in 6 months I've made more with this MLM than you have in the last like almost 2 years in this one, you know? And he's like, okay, yeah, I think we need to talk. And so we had like, I still remember I was crying at the time, not crying like a bad cry, but it was just like, I just need my husband to be, and he wasn't not supportive. He was actually super supportive, but he was still kind of doing his own thing. So I was like, I just want us to be like one unit, and I'm so sorry that I just can't do the one you're doing, but like, isn't this so much better, right? And he totally came around and did his own program after that. P90X is the one that changed his life. And I made a goal. So this was now like about 9 months or so 7, 8, 9 months later, I can't remember how long, from June to January. January, I made a goal and I said, hey, I told my husband, I want to see if I can quit my job. I heard all these women on the National Wake Up Call, and I heard about their stories, and I thought, like, if they could do this, why can't I? And that's been like my motto for everything I've ever wanted in this business. If they can do it, why can't I? Like, I looked at my coach, and I'm like, if she can do it, so can I. First time I hit, when I did hit Emerald, it was because I saw her do a post about somebody else, and I thought, if she can do it, why can't I? Elite, like Mary told me what Elite was, and I thought, well, if other people can do it, why can't I? And so that's always been what I believe, and I urge you guys to think the exact same thing. Lauren, exactly, right? Like, if someone else can do it, why can't I? And I tell myself all the time, like, the goals I haven't hit is because I have not chosen to hit them, not because I can't hit them. Like, I have not chosen to make that my goal yet. But if I look at something and I want it, like, then that's the first thing I'm going to say is, someone else can do it, so can I. And that's how I kind of kept going through the different pathways. Like, I met Mary when I was a diamond. And by the end of that year, our team did hit 5-star elites. I did use my husband. He did get to diamond, but I couldn't use my second CBC because my first 4 diamonds were all on one side. And by the time I showed 2-star, right? Like, you have to actually be one on each side to get your next CBC. So they were all on, I know, right, Mary? Oh, no. Don't worry about that. I thought you meant oopsies, like where I placed them. Yeah, my placing was oopsies. No. But so by the time I could open up a second CBC, it was the end of the year, and I couldn't open that second CBC till the next year. So I couldn't use that one to get to diamond. But I did use it the next year, so to be one of my new diamonds. So it's you never want to look at it and say, like, oh, because of this situation, I can't hit my goal. I was like, I'm going after it, whatever the situation, right? And then last year, we had our first little girl, Summer. She was born in July. And so the first half of the year, I remember thinking, like, oh, perfect, she's born in July. I can hit elite the second half of the year. And then I went to New Leaders Conference, and I thought, like, okay, that's a really stupid idea. I need to lock down elite before I have Summer. And so that's what we did. We had a few more points that needed to come in September, but for the most part, like, everything else was done before I had her. And so the second half of the year, I'll be honest with you guys, it was like my turn to cash in. And that's how I see, like, the hustle in this business is work hard when you can. so that you can cash in on all those sacrifices. Sacrifices makes you feel like all of that is lost to you. It's like I sacrificed and I can never get it back. And that's actually not true at all. Like all the time that I dedicated, the nights I didn't stay, that I didn't watch TV with Todd and I stayed up and worked the business, the days I woke up early, the times I didn't hang out with friends, the times I busted my butt when I was working in corporate, like that's not the kind of sacrifice that you don't get to cash in on. Like I cashed in, let me tell you, when I had summer, I got to cash in and it was a really cool feeling because at that point, let me tell you, the sacrifices were so worth it. Like they were so small compared to how much I felt like I got to cash in. And by cash in, meaning like I didn't have to be in a season of hustle for 6 months. I got to really enjoy being a mom. And the key is my income didn't dip, you guys. I didn't feel like it was like, oh my gosh, it's like gone. No, because I built a strong and stable foundation because of those sacrifices. So here we are today. That's my story in a nutshell. I'm hoping that gave you guys some good background so you can ask questions.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Z. So you guys, seriously, use Z, ask her questions. Like I said, I know that the first year, she really did utilize LinkedIn. I don't know what that looks like now, but definitely.
Yeah, I didn't mention a lot about LinkedIn, but I'm totally happy to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. And just if anybody's curious, that's great. And I do remember, one thing I do remember in working with you was, okay, Mary, like, here's my plan. And we would write it out. And it's like, hey, we had a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. Like there were safety nets upon safety nets upon safety nets because it was going to happen. And so one thing that I have seen with a lot of most elite coaches is that they are obsessed. And that's what happened to you when you said, why not me? You became obsessed with this business. So Jessie would like to know if you still build with LinkedIn.
I do. LinkedIn is one of those things where the more you build on it, the stronger and more powerful it gets because you're building everything off of second degree connections. So yes, I still use LinkedIn. Facebook is still my number one, I would say. LinkedIn is probably number two, and Instagram is like barely starting to build for me. And that's just because I didn't put a lot of time into it, to build it. So I'm starting to now. But Facebook and LinkedIn are my priority. Mm-hmm. And I have a training on YouTube of like really how to use LinkedIn. I'm happy to talk about it, but like to actually show you guys the screen share. And I think it's on the Champs page, isn't it, Mary? Yeah. And I actually do like screen share and I show you guys like, this is how you add a connection. This is how you message a connection. This is how you build it. Like I really do take you into my LinkedIn and show you. And I love LinkedIn because people expect to be recruited. Like that to me is the primary difference between LinkedIn and all other channels. Do I post the same way? Nope. I don't even really post that much on LinkedIn. It's all through private messaging. You can, and you can be successful posting. And I have posted, but it's not my strategy. When I do post on there, I definitely do not post the same way. So instead of doing like a before and after in a bikini, like you might on Facebook, I try to keep it a little more conservative. And it really just depends on your audience. Like I came from HR. So knowing that, and now my network on LinkedIn has changed quite a bit. It's kind of web, and that's what happens, like turns into a web. But the heart of my LinkedIn is really a lot of HR background folks, tends to be a little bit more conservative. And so I would maybe post stuff, like I've done posts in the past where it's about traveling and working out, like my top tips, how to eat clean when you're traveling or when you're eating at restaurants for meetings. What else have I done on LinkedIn? I have posted like every year at Summit, I do some posts, or at Leadership, I'll do some posts, like of our conventions, right? Because they're a lot more fun. Like going to a convention and wearing workout clothes and working out is way more fun than the conventions I used to go to. So I always do something like that. Okay. So mostly messaging, yep, inviting to coaching. And then if they're not interested in coaching, I just take the default route of like, okay, well, let's talk about your own personal goals, And really the key with LinkedIn that's worked really well, especially right now, is when they're not interested, is to connect with them on another channel. Well, okay, well, I would love to just connect with you. I love connecting with other women, with similar backgrounds as me. Can we connect on Facebook or Instagram? And then that is what, like cultivating that relationship off of LinkedIn on another channel makes it so easy for me so that I don't have to, constantly go back and just talk to them privately, because that gets to be a lot of work when you're messaging like 15 people a day. Now they can be a part of my life on Facebook, Instagram, and they almost always come back to me that way. If I can't get them to talk to me right away. Are they people I know? No, they're totally cold. So in that training, it teaches you guys how to send out second connections, exactly what I say in my very first message to them. And then I just say hello, I ask a question, and then the second message they get from me says, like, are you interested in learning about other income earning opportunities? And the reason is, on LinkedIn, people expect to be recruited. It's not like Facebook and Instagram where you kind of feel like, should I build a relationship? Should I just ask them? Like, they want you to cut to the chase on LinkedIn. Hitting doesn't really answer. What is your biggest tip in helping a coach to diamond quickly? And then what would you say are your best leadership tips? Okay. So those questions are similar, Lauren and Sarah, about best leadership tips in helping people advance to diamond. One, you cannot want something for someone more than they want it for themselves. So what I see a lot of coaches struggle with is investing time in the wrong people, right? Or someone that doesn't want it. So I think like one of my strengths is just really not giving the goal of diamond to anybody. Like, I really don't. I'll put it out there, and then I'm going to see who's running. Right. And like, prime example, I have a gal right now that's like about to pop diamond, and she joined me 2 years ago and she didn't do anything. And I was like, I'm not going to waste time with you. Right. Well, she came back around last August and she has never missed Success Club. She's, like I said, she's about to pop diamond. And even though I'm supporting her, and that's kind of my leadership technique, is like, I follow the 4 phases of leadership from Ken Blanchard, if you guys have heard of that, where in like phase 1, it's very high direction. I'm going to tell you, do this, do this, do this, and you just go out and execute. But if they don't execute, I really don't spend a lot of time on them, because and then you know what I do with my time is I go recruit somebody else. Like, if you can't even execute on a very easy list that I give you, like if you don't show up, I really will drop you pretty fast. If you can't show up on a team call, you guys know, like, who's showing up and who's not. One other thing that I do feel like has worked very well, though, and I've done this year, this is like a new thing that we're doing, is building my challenge group to mimic a coach training. So let me talk to you guys about what we're doing. And this has helped a lot of my new coaches who don't even realize like they're building a business. In my challenge group, we have hashtags every single week that you use. And like right now, hashtag is not your mama's diet if you're posting a food pic. Hippie hippie shake if you're posting a pic of Shakeology. There's like 4 or 5 different hashtags that you can use. Okay. Now you earn points every time. And the cool thing about hashtags is I use a Facebook group and I can search the hashtag very easily and pull up everybody who used it. And that's Todd's job, my husband. And every Sunday he goes to the challenge group, searches the hashtags, and then writes everybody's name down who posted. Now, if you also post on your Instagram story or your Facebook page and tag me with any of those hashtags, it's an automatic extra, like it's almost double points that you're going to earn. Okay. And the points go towards raffle prizes that you can get. And it's just competitive. Like, people just love that. And the points start over every week so that you can always jump in. Like, it's not going to weed out the people who might have like sucked the first week. Right. Now, the point of this though is they're encouraged to post on their personal pages. Well, now they're acting like a coach before they're even doing a coach training. They're acting like a coach before they're even a coach. Like, I've got customers posting on Instagram stories and customers posting on Facebook every single day. And what's happening is their friends are starting to see it. So I had a coach who signed with me in January. She's like this happens all the time, right? They get super, super excited. And then what do? They come to you and they go, I'm really overwhelmed. And you're like, oh, great. I was excited about you. Now you just said the O word. Like, it's over, right? Like, I hate the word overwhelmed. And I hate a strong word, but that is like the worst. So what I've been doing lately is I've been saying, okay, just calm down. I want you to do nothing. I don't want you to do team calls. I don't even need you to listen to the National Wake Up Call. I need you to do one thing for me, just one thing. I need you to crush the challenge group. You are going to do all the posts. You're going to do them on your social media. I need you to get more points than anybody else. Can you just do that for me? And that's for their own goals, right? Like they're going to feel and look better. So I like had to ban a couple coaches from national wake up calls. Like that sounds pretty crazy, right? But I'm like, I don't even want them to do anything but just challenge groups. So no joke. I have a coach I'm meeting today at noon, and she was one of those overwhelmed, like the one that was excited and then she got overwhelmed, and I was really pumped about her, like really, really pumped. And I had to ban her from everything. I'm like, stop with overwhelm, just don't do anything anymore, and just be a rock star. Well, she's totally done it. She's like every day on her stories, every day on her Instagram, every day on her Facebook. So finally, like just a day ago, I messaged her. I'm like, Amy, listen, like you're on top of this. I mean, there has to be people that are messaging you. Like, don't tell me no one is interested. She's like, funny you say that, because yeah, I'm starting to get a lot of people like commenting and cheering me on, and I've had a couple ask. And I'm like, okay, do you think you're ready to meet again? And she's like, I know I'm ready. And then yesterday, like now knowing that like we're meeting and she's like super excited, she did like the best post, like where she's actually like inviting and it's a call to action without me telling her to do anything. So that's kind of been like my strategy this year, is just getting them to act as coaches without a coach training, without me emailing them stuff, without me saying jump on, and letting them naturally get excited because they have one task: to be an amazing challenger. And that, I feel like if you can be an amazing challenger, that's why I hit diamond, you guys. Like when I started, my coach didn't have a coach training. Like we never did anything. All I knew was to be an amazing challenger as a coach, be an amazing challenger, help my new clients be amazing challengers, help them get the coach discount because they love the challenge group. And if they're amazing challengers, they're going to get results and people will want to join them. And even after I had summer, I remember telling Todd, like, I'm so overwhelmed with sneak peeks and trainings and new coaches and all of this stuff. And there was a day I looked at, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have the best challenge group ever. Like, I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm just going to have the best challenge group. And that's when my numbers were so much stronger than the other month, right? Every time I just focused on the challenge group, people were referring their friends, people even like, think about it. Like if you're a customer and referring your friends, then you have two options. You can become a coach, which I'm always going to put out there for you. Or if you don't want to be a coach, then you can give me the customer. Now I have a new customer, right? So that is like the heart of really the leadership. And that's honestly how people get to diamond, instead of like me trying to every single day, who did you recruit? Who did you recruit? I mean, we do sneak peeks and we do all that kind of stuff, but I just feel like if you're running great challenge groups and you're helping your people act like coaches in the challenge group, it's so easy to recruit people into your groups. Does that make sense? That was a lot. That was a lot for that question.
I love it. Who else has a question, guys? This is gold. Go ahead and take yourself off mute. You don't have to type it. You can talk to us. Really, guys, don't embarrass me.
No, I got one.
Okay.
You said the book, 4 Points of Leadership. Who is that? The name of the book, or is that
the name of the book is Situational Leadership.
Situation, because that is definitely my.
It's that's what we used in my corporate world too when I was leading teams there, and it's by Ken Blanchard. And even if you just like Google, it's kind of an older book, so it's probably a little outdated, like the tone and stuff.
Right.
You can just Google situational leadership.
Okay.
It's, how you lead people through each phase. And what I love, and I feel like it applies a lot in our world, is it talks about these phases, right? So the first phase is when someone is very high excitement and very low skill, right? So what is that? That's like beginner's luck. They don't know anything and they're really excited. And we love them when they're in that stage. It's like, you are so cute and shiny and new, and I just want to train you and you're going to be my top coach. And then the second phase is you have, your knowledge is still really low, like really, really low. You still don't know anything, but now the excitement goes down because you realize what you don't know. Now they're like, oh my God, there's so much I don't know. And their excitement starts to dwindle, but their knowledge is still here. And we don't like them here. Like they don't like themselves and we don't like them. Like that's when you see a coach and you're like, oh my God, my cute little adorable shiny new coach is now like overwhelmed and I don't like you. And what we want to do is in that phase, right? Like we want to just say like, they're not worth anything anymore. What you want to do in that phase is still give them a lot of tasks And if they don't show up, that's where I walk away. But what a lot of times what I see is we stop giving them tasks. Don't stop giving them tasks. Give them a very specific task, which for me has been, like, especially this year, show up in the challenge group and earn the most points you can in our group, right? So that's been like one very specific task. The third phase is when the skill starts to go up, like they start to learn a little bit, and then their excitement starts to go up. So they're kind of like right here. And then the fourth phase is autopilot. Now through the third and fourth phases, you can back off of the like to-dos, like very specific, and let them start making decisions on their own. Let them start like social media. Maybe they can think about what to post. But in the first couple phases, I mean, you guys, I've even like written posts for people before. I heard Christina Delgado say this once, and I was like, that's permission enough for me. Because I thought, like, is that overstepping? And she was saying how there's times like she will actually say, like, I'm writing your post for you. And I will do that. I'll say, like, send me your story and I'm just going to write it for you until they figure it out. So very high direction in the beginning.
Thank you. I love that. And I think I can totally relate to it because my struggle is I'm definitely the phase one person, like high energy, high like excitement, like why is everyone not doing this? But then I feel like I overwhelm people because I'm so excited about something that I'm like, oh my gosh, like not even a word vomit,
but don't tone your excitement down.
Right. Awesome.
You know, like keep that because what you're going to do is if you tone that excitement down, yes, you're going to attract those people that don't want it, but they're not your people. Like you're going to actually unattract the girl that's you. And wouldn't you rather have another one of you?
Absolutely.
You know, because I've caught myself doing that too. And then I realized like, well, that's why I'm not attracting me and I want more of me.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Don't tone it down. Give them direction, but don't tone your excitement down at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amber, did you have a question? I saw you take yourself off mute. Was that an accident?
It probably was an accident. I'm getting changed and I was just trying to make sure like everything was turned around so nobody was like seeing the business.
Sorry. Carry on.
One time somebody was getting changed or going to the bathroom on one of these things and her name was Amber and Robbie thought it was me, but I wasn't on that call. And Robbie wrote me and he's like, Amber, you're naked on the call. And it's now been my greatest fear in life that I will forget I'm on a call.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, that has happened several times that we're like, that's a body part that probably shouldn't be like.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, no lie. It's pretty amazing. And don't even worry about it. We'll call the whole office over and look at it. Y'all would do the same thing. Stop it.
Yeah. That is awful.
What other questions do we have for Z? You guys, this is amazing stuff.
Do you run one like ongoing challenge group as more of a fit club, or do you start a new one every single month?
I start a new one. There's no right answer. Like I know I've been on so many calls and I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so incredible to do the ongoing. And then if you guys heard the National Wake Up Call, she talks about how she has like the ongoing and then she has like prep page. I think there's like positives to every single one. But for me, what I have found personally is that when people have a start and a stop, they just do better in my groups. Like they know it's going to stop and then I give them a break. It gives me a break, right? Like I need the break to be a better coach. And then it gives, and I always say, I'm like, it's not a break on your goals, right? Like you still want to have the lifestyle. It gives them a break from checking in. And I feel like they start to miss me a little bit. I'm like, I want you to come back and actually want me and not take my group for granted. So we always do a start and a finish. Usually my groups are 3 weeks. But right now we're doing 6 weeks because we don't have the break between the two real time, 21 Day Fix and Extreme. And so we're rolling right into the next one. And already I can tell you like 6 weeks is only with a program. Like I will unless a program is 6 weeks, if I'm running it off of like when we're not launching a new program, it's only going to be 3 weeks. Yeah. That's just what I feel like works for us.
Awesome. So I want to ask you a question, and I'm not sure that you do the same thing unless anybody else has anything. You guys are kind of quiet today, but I remember there was a way that you dealt with Shakeology and the retention and how you presented the discount to these challengers / coaches. I don't know if you're still doing that, but kind of walk us through your process there.
Of staying on shape. I mean, I don't know if there was a process or if it's just that we talk about it from day one. And I always say, like, if you guys want, so right when someone messages me about joining, I am telling them right from that very first conversation that it's a 3 month to get to your goals, like to get and state your goals. Is that what it is? Because I don't feel like I've never done like a punch. I know some coaches do punch cards and stuff like that.
It wasn't like a punch card. It was something like you offered the discount, but kind of asked for a year commitment before.
Oh, okay. So if they're signing up as a discount coach. Okay, so this is something that for me was like when I started, I did not sign discount coaches, right? I wouldn't say that. I didn't sign discount coaches from day one. I would sign you up as a discount coach after you showed up in the challenge group. And then after listening to a lot of coaches and finding out that there's like a lot of top coaches that were signed as discount coaches right from the beginning, last year is when I thought, okay, I am going to go ahead and extend the discount from day one. But my expectation is that you are here for the rest of the year, like an entire year. I want you to be here. And I still say that because there is nothing that bothers me more than logging into my back office and like all the new customers I signed up as discount coaches are now inactive. Excuse me, right? So I do say like, hey, one, I need you to understand that 3 months is what it's going to take to see your goals, right? And remember this, guys, if someone says they want to lose 5 pounds, it still takes 3 months because I'll tell you why. It's easy for most people to lose 5 pounds, but how many people actually maintain? So you still need 3 months to prove that this is really going to stick. And so that's why I'll tell them, like, I want you to be on this for 3 months. Now, here's the good thing. I can offer you a discount so that month 2 and 3 are going to look like this. But on the discount program, you need to stick around for a year. Like, I want you to join this tribe. And there are definitely people that say, like, I'm not ready. I'll think about it. And guess what? I don't sign them up as a coach. I sign them up as a customer. And they usually come back to me. Like, I kid you not, they'll come back to me and they'll go, hey, okay, I think I need to be on that program. Is it too late to switch my account? And I'm like, nope, super easy. We can switch it now. And I have not done this, but I was just thinking, Mary, the other day, I was like, I should probably, like, I'm actually like thinking about the idea of even telling these discount coaches, like, I will extend this discount to you if you bring 2 people on board. Like, I really like want to find a way to word it because I'm starting to think like, I want you to earn this discount, like get 2 people on board, right? But I have yet to do that.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
If any of you guys do that and find success, let me know. I think I want to start doing it because imagine if someone like became a discount coach, brought 2 people on board and got a check right away. Like, wouldn't that be incredible? Yeah. I feel like the easiest way for us to train our people is to train them without them even knowing. Like, that's what happened to me. I didn't do a training. I didn't do a coach training. Like, if you can get them to act like a coach in the challenge and get them to invite people to earn a discount, but not even because they think they're working a business. The first time I got a check, I literally looked at Todd and I go, I should probably text my coach and see how much of this I get to keep. Like, that's how clueless I was. I genuinely did not understand that whole chat. I'm like, it says my name on it, and it was like $100. It wasn't like a lot, but I remember thinking like, do I get to keep all of this? Like, and I think about my experience and why I never got overwhelmed because I had no expectations. Nobody told me to do anything. It just all happened so naturally because I loved my results, right? So another thing we do in the challenge, you guys, like along this line is we always do hashtag double time. That was, believe it or not, before the double time workout came out. And you have to invite someone that you are not living with to do a workout with you, right? Like, always try to get them to talk to people. The more you can get them to talk to people before they're a coach, the easier it is. And that's what happened to me, right? Like, I took my containers to work and people were asking about them. My coach never came to me and said, okay, you need to send some invites now.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mary. Sorry.
No, you're good. For your challenge groups, when do you have your coaches start running their own, or are you guys a big team challenge group?
I wish I had an answer for you.
Okay.
I mean, let me put it this way. I encourage my coaches to run their own because I do feel like if your challengers see you as a leader in the challenge group, they will see you as a leader as a coach. But I do have a couple like really strong coaches that have run their own groups, and every month they're like, just please come back into yours. you know, and so there's some months where I'm like, no, I'm going to push you to do this on your own. And there's like this month right now where it's like for the 6 weeks, it's a huge challenge.
Right.
And part of me is like, this is why I didn't want to do this.
Right.
You know, but on the same token, it does allow me to build depth. Like I'll see people who are just rocking it and they're not my customers. And I can actually, and that's the thing, like if you're in my challenge group, I can message anybody I want. It's all
right.
I'll message them and I'll say, hey, you are a rock star. Like you should be on our team. So it does help me build through my people a little bit more.
Right.
But this is like a question I literally thought about posting on our roundtable, Mary. Like, what is the answer? Because I don't know. Like,
right.
be big or encourage them to lead their own. I don't really have a role. My gut says though, like the sooner you can run your own, the more you're going to put the leadership hat on. And it is easier to really grow your own business that way.
Right.
You have that, your people are bought into you as a leader.
Right.
I agree with you, Z, because if you have a challenge group and you're just doing the bare minimum of getting the 3 people a month, I use this on the past super weekend. I'm like, that's like having this event with 3 people here. That's it. Like it would be like me inviting 3 people. Like that's really not that fun. But if you have that, then it's like, okay, let's get more people in here so it's more fun and we have more support with each other. So I there's a time and a place for sure. And you definitely have to figure out what works best for your people. But you're right. There is a time when you're like, I can see that you're leaning on me too much because you're just not willing to put the work in. So I absolutely agree.
And then the other thing too is I always allow my coaches to be in my group to see what I'm doing so they can duplicate it in their own groups, right? Like and that's always an open door. It's like if anybody wants to be in my group and then run their own so they can see what I'm doing and mimic it or, spin it their own way or whatever, right? Like that's always an option for anybody on my team. See how you're reaching out to encourage. Initially, the new coaches can see how you're reaching out to encourage challengers, which could lead to coaching for them. We do. Yeah. That's so true. That's exactly like the goal of having like the big group, I would say. They can definitely see that. And that's why even a star diamond on my team can stay in my group if they want. You know, I will never kick them out. I just want them to run their own.
Do you have a graphic that you use for the hashtags, like for every day in your challenge groups? I think that's a really great idea.
I'm gonna actually like show you guys. Like it is so not fancy. Hold on. I'm gonna share a screen. Let me just get to my challenge group though. It is so basic.
Have you, while you're looking that up, Z, have you noticed anything weird about your hashtags using them? Because I know lately this week we've all kind of heard about hashtag spamming and
well, no, because this is okay, watch. So this isn't these are only hashtags in a private group, so nobody could search them outside the group anyways.
Gotcha.
The reason the hashtags are important is it's easy to search for me for when we're adding up points. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and you guys can just see it. So like on Monday I said, okay, important updates, like this post after you've read it, start to week 3. We've got brand new hashtags and rules. All the old hashtags are no longer being used. Each day you must do at least one of the following: extra points if you do more than one, and points equals raffle entries. So sweaty or not your mama's diet, I'm not crying, you're crying. We're reading Rachel's new book in our challenge. That's another thing, we do PD in our challenge group. So another way to make coaches like all kind of go hand in hand. Hippie hippie shake. At the end of the day, do a final post. So they have to do one of the top ones. They could do more. And then they have to do the final one, which is their check-in. And then if you use the hashtags, no need to tag me on here. If you post on your personal Facebook or IG stories, please tag me for extra points. But I just do message from Z so they know it's like an important one. I mark it as an announcement. And then I can come into the group and I can do, like, let's say I want to do hippie shake. And this is what Todd does every Sunday. So we search it and then like everybody, see how it just like pulls it up? It's super easy. Instead of having to scroll through my challenge, I can just, every single person that's doing that, it just pulls it up, any hashtag. Does that make sense? Yeah, but not a graphic or anything. And I change them up every week because if you use the same hashtag every week, then when Todd's trying to search the hashtag and we want to tally points at the start of the week, I don't want to have to go back, right? Like I want brand new hashtags.
And you said you double their points if they are posting to their stories or their
No,
feed?
they get 10 points for every hashtag in our challenge group, and then they get 25 if they're also every post that they do on Instagram or on Facebook, and they tag me. Now, here's another really cool thing. When they tag you on Instagram stories, what do you guys get to do? You get to share it on your story, right? So like if you go to my story right now, I've got like a workout clip from one of my girls. I've got shake clips from one of mine. So it helps me sell more, right? Because I've got my stories constantly feeding in from other people. So yeah, they get 25 points and then they get 10 points for everyone. And then like this group is, we're raffling off 2 tanks and a $75 gift card to Nike. But that's because it's a 6-week group. And then every single week, so at the end of the week, okay, everybody gets a raffle, at least one raffle entry as long as you do one post, right? So if you have 10 points, you're gonna get one, but then you can keep getting more raffle entries with like every subset, like this number of points gets you this many entries. And then every week we start at 0. That way, if someone has like just totally dropped off the face of the earth and they wanna jump back in, they're not feeling like they don't have a shot. So every Monday we start all over again. You can earn new raffle entries. And so there's some people that have collected like quite a bit but anybody could win, you know?
Do you have your coaches pitch in for that gift card and stuff?
If it's their person that wins. Yeah, so if it's one of their people that wins, we go half on it. If it's one of my people, then I pay for it.
Awesome. And I noticed that Mary took herself off mute for a second. Mary, did you have a question, lovey? Oh, she's not there anymore.
And then someone asked if it 10 points. It's an additional 25 because I really want to encourage them to post on their own pages.
Gotcha. This is brilliant because then it's like a lot of times coaches are like, oh, Mary, you're back. Did you have a question, love? She's frozen now. Shoot. Anyway, it's brilliant because a lot of coaches go like brain dead and they're like, what do I post? What are the stories that I post? And that's really great to show what you're doing and how you're supporting your people and all that.
And super easy, right? Because all I do is go like share to my page and then give them some love.
Exactly. Okay, Mary, you're back. You can see her moving. Did you have a question, honey? Oh, no. Okay. Okay, any other questions, you guys? We have just a couple more minutes, probably time for one more. No? Okay, any other knowledge bombs you want to drop on us, Z? Like I took pages and pages of notes. Amazing. What is something new that you're implementing that I don't know about? Because it's been a while.
I don't know if I'm implementing anything new besides what I just told you, to be totally honest. Like, I mean, I shared with you guys like my new idea, what I want to do with the discount, and then what I'm doing this year. I don't think there's anything else new. I will tell you, I will leave you guys with 2 things though. One, I just this morning started curating like a set of stories for like dripping morning meltdown. And if you guys are not all over it, start following Jericho if you're not, and like get all over it. Like I start dripping really early, and I am so crazy pumped about this program. And I told myself like this launch is gonna be the biggest thing that's happening in 2019. So tell yourself that and get super excited. Like I just went to Jericho's page and then created, like I haven't posted them yet. I just started creating like a whole series of stories, like dripping, right? With how amazing this is going to be. So start today. Like it is not too soon to talk about Morning Meltdown and getting people really, really excited. And then the second thing I'm going to leave you with is it is April. I don't know what all of your rank is, but I will tell you guys 2 years ago, this time I had just hit 1 star. I went from diamond to 1 star and I finished the year at 5. And so whatever your goal is, and I have to remind myself this too, is we can make a big jump by the end of the year. So don't wait to set that, goal for next year thinking like, oh, half the year's over, or don't make a baby goal. Like I actually feel like the goals I miss the most are my baby goals because I'm like, whatever, it's easy. The hard goals, I am so much more likely to hit. And one thing I have used now going on 3 years, so this is my 3rd time purchasing, is the Freedom Journal. There's a lot of good coaching books out there. I know Brendan Burchard has a really good one too. So whatever you use, I don't think you should jump ship on. But if you're not using something, the Freedom Journal, and I used that with you, Mary, first time getting Elite. I used it last year and I used it this year. And I'll just type that in there. It's 90 days to one goal. Okay. And it was 5-star my first time, and it took me longer than 90 days, but I'll tell you guys, within 90 days, I knew that thing was going to happen. I was like, it set me up for success. So I love that tool, but if you don't have one, get something. There's a lot of other ones out there. All right, you guys, and make a big, big goal. The Freedom Journal. And the key is, like, it's really easy in this business to have a lot of goals. And that's where I I'll listen to the wake up call. I'm like, I have another goal. This forced me to like pick one goal and focus on nothing else and how to get to that goal. And you can even make it a financial goal. It doesn't even have to be like a rank, but to get to your financial goal, you're going to build your business too, obviously. Right. So yeah.
One question before you jump off. Do you have any advice for, like, I have a few diamonds who have been diamond for the last 2 years. And like every year they're like, I'm going 5-star, I'm going Elite, and like have these big goals. They're good coaches, always hit Success Club, but like they can't get past diamond. And I guess like I'm to the point that I like don't have any more ideas of what to tell them, because I'm like, you guys have been diamonds for so long. What's your best advice to help them? Because I almost feel like they've missed the goal so many times that they keep setting that it becomes like in their head that they can't hit it versus it being a brand new goal.
So I have them too, right? And I can't tell you guys, and it's crazy because you'll sign someone else up who will get to star diamond, and then all of a sudden these diamonds are still just sitting there, right? So I totally feel you, and I definitely have it too. And here's what I've noticed where this is like, if I were to say like this is why they're still diamond, is they don't have a recruiting goal every month, right? Like you are just not growing your team. It's not about developing new diamonds under them. They're not recruiting enough, because you cannot look at your team and just say like, I'm going to recruit 2 people and I'm going to get to 10-star diamond. Like unless by some miracle the people you recruited are rock stars, but that would be a miracle. Like you have to have a recruiting goal per month. So my question for you is, how many people are they bringing on each month?
They hit between Success Club 10 and 15, but that is not all coaches. And I know they bring on like a lot of discount coaches, not a lot of actively working coaches.
Yeah. And when they're talking to discount coaches, are they really just like pitching a discount?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think they need a recruiting goal of how many actual coaches, like even if it's 2, like they just have to have a goal though. Right. And then you can track the goal and say like, is it getting me to where I want? But and even in my own business, you guys, like when I feel like it's stale, it's because I don't have a separate recruiting goal. When Mary and I were working together, she never said like hit SC this. She said, here's what you're going to hit for SC, and here's going to be your new coach's goal, right? Even one, like you just need a recruiting goal. But that was always a separate goal from SC. Okay. So like, I mean, because there are months I've had like SC 50 and I wasn't recruiting. Well, that's great. And yes, they can turn into coaches, and that's exactly what I talked about. But I feel like it's so much stronger when it's a separate goal, and I can actually say like, I'm gonna have this many coaches and this many. And I still don't sign every person up as a discount coach. Like that's just my personal. And same with my team. We kind of just go back and forth on that. But that's why it's important to have a separate goal. But for the people that are just hanging on a diamond, and I have them on my team, like that's what it is. They're only recruiting to save diamond. Like that's what they're doing. It's always playing catch up. It's like, oh, I'm going to drop someone I'm going to recruit. And I have one right now. She's a solid diamond. I can always count on her to be diamond. She will never lose diamond, but she's about to pop a diamond like 2 levels under her, but none of her people are getting up to diamond. But she's not recruiting. That's what it comes down to. The only way to not recruit and build is luck. And that's not a strategy. You guys know that. Hope and luck are not strategies. So setting a recruiting goal and really holding them accountable. Like, do you really want to hit Star Diamond? Like, how many coaches are you recruiting? Because you guys know, did you hit your goals did you hit your rank goals by 1 or 2 people that just happen to be diamond? No, you had a recruiting goal, you know, and for me, like if I'm not hitting my rank goal, I got to recruit more.
Absolutely. Z, thank you so much. You guys, I got so many nuggets out of this and so many strategies to share with people. I absolutely love how organized she is and how, I mean, you are the epitome of, I'm the CEO of this business. I'm going to run it like my business. I just
You guys are so welcome.
love it. Okay, I'm going to